Welcome back to Steel and Standards Wargaming. Thank you for joining me for yet another video. So we are going to be doing another Warrior review from Steel and Standards Wargaming. So today we're going to be looking at North Africa. Wow, this is going to be a good one. There are a ton of warriors in here. We got the German warriors. We got the Italian warrior, only a single one there. We got the British Warriors and we got the American Warriors. Great lineup for you. Yeah, if you can, like and subscribe. It takes a ton of work to do these videos, actually, but excited to do them. So can't wait to bring it to you. So let's dive in. So first up, we got the Desert Fox himself. Field Marshal Erwin Rommel. And as per usual, readers are out. Okay, great. So, Erwin Rommel. So we go back a couple pages here. Page 14 has all of his exploits, if you will. So let's dive in. So born in 1891 in a middle-class Swabian family, Erwin Rommel joined the German army in 1910. When the First World War began in 1914, Rommel served on the Western and Romanian fronts, earning a reputation as a fearless and brilliant infantry commander. In 1917, when on the Italian front, his Alpine battalion of less than 500 men launched a daring attack, taking more than 9,000 prisoners and capturing 81 guns while breaking right through the Italian front line. For this, he was awarded Germany's empire's highest honor for gallantry, the Pour le Mérite. I'll put that up on the screen because I don't think I pronounced that correctly. He ended up writing Infantry Attacks. I've read that book 20 years ago. I'll need to resell it here. But when war broke out, Rommel was commanding Hitler's headquarter guard. Rommel was not a Nazi, but he and Hitler formed a friendly relationship. So when Rommel asked for command of the 7th Panzer Division for the invasion of France, he got it. In May 1940, the Germans attacked France and Belgium in a surprise attack through the Ardennes forest and across the Meuse River, with the 7th Panzer Division leading the way. The sudden assault ruptured the French line. 7th Panzer raced deep into French rear, sowing confusion and panic. Under Rommel's leadership, the 7th Panzer Division quickly earned the nickname Ghost Division and was neither friend nor foe were ever sure where it was. In 6 weeks of fighting, the Ghost Division took 100,000 prisoners, and Rommel became one of the most famous generals in the German army. Wow. And then we all know we got sent to North Africa. There are pages and pages of that. But let's jump to the end here. And death. Rommel was assigned to take command of the defense of the French coast against the expected D-Day invasion. However, even his formidable energy and gift for improvisation could not stop the landings. On July 20th, 1944, a number of German officers, seeing no hope of winning the war, conspired to assassinate Hitler. The failed attempt and the conspirators were killed. However, Rommel was implicated in the plot. Gestapo agents were sent to Rommel's home, demanding he take poison or they would murder him and his family. To save his beloved wife and son, Rommel took poison, still proclaiming his loyalty to Hitler. Wow. What a story that guy has. So, we're going to jump into Field Marshal Erwin Rommel here, into his rules. So, Rommel is a warrior and higher command team, of course. Rated fearless veteran, naturally. Rommel is mounted in Griffin as his 250 half track and can join any Panzer company, African Schutzen company, or Panzer Pioneer Company in North Africa for 50 points. This dude is a steal. He's a must take. If you're playing games with your buddies, he's a must take for 50 points here. Like, you're getting so much for him, it's intense. So he can also take an escort platoon with captured honey stewards. So these are great little tanks. So let's jump into the rules for them back here. Honey stewards, they're light tanks, so they are fast. They're getting across the battlefield super quick. Front armor 3. I mean, this mid-war stuff, 3 to 6. I mean, 6 is almost super high. Like you're really like the armor and even like the guns. Like most, your base gun, AT gun, is a 7. Front armor 3. You're bouncing shots on a 3 or a 4 depending on range. So it's got a decent gun, 2.7, 2 shots, 7 AT tank, 4+ firepower. You know, just average. But it's got those Hall MGs, Coax MGs, got a lot of machine guns and light tanks. So it's fast. It's a great unit. If only they were recon. Real miss there. So I'd rather have the Panzer IIs. Okay. All right, let's get into his special rules here. So, fingertip feeling. Rommel was said to have a fingertip feeling. One German platoon in line of sight of Rommel may make a normal move within its deployment after both sides have deployed, but before the reconnaissance. So this is happening before. What's really cool about this is if you're doing a battle where, you know, that front line is so important, you can get troops in there before even the defender can make recon moves if they're supposed to be making them first. This could be huge. This could really swing the tide of battle. That alone might be worth 50 points. I mean, that's great. Well, plus 50 points is just getting you another higher command team. So he's a third bubble. I mean, the higher command warrior team, I mean, you're paying, that's worth 30, 40, 50 points just in and of itself to get those extra rerolls for motivation, etc. So yeah, this early move here in the deployment, awesome. So now it does say it has to be within the deployment zone. So maybe that pulls it back a little bit more, but still you're moving around. You got a good, you're getting some line of fire, all that kind of stuff. So Rommel at the point. So any German platoon in line of sight of Rommel may reroll any failed motivation tests and failed skill tests to make stormtrooper moves. Rerolling all motivation tests. I mean, failed your tank terror, reroll it. Fail your platoon morale check, reroll it. Like, it's so good. He could easily be 100, 120 points and still be worth it, in my opinion. Now his drawback here, right? So if he is destroyed, the German player loses 1 victory point and the opponent gains 1 victory point at the end of battle. I mean, you can't let him die. You got to protect him. That point will swing battles so fast. It'll take a 4-3 victory to a 3-4 loss. So yeah, you got to be careful with him. That's for sure. Now, if you clean up, you got a 5-2 victory, 6-1 victory, you're good. I mean, you lose them. Now we're going to be doing the North Africa Gazala campaign, and so I can't just randomly take him in a battle. He's on the battlefield, and you can pick to use him if you want. If he's in the battle, he can die. Once he dies, that's it. So, he won't cost points in that case either, which is interesting. But he's going to be real valuable. So keeping him alive is key here. And then his last rule is kind of just for fun mostly here. So Mammut. So as well as Griffin, Rommel can also travel in Mammut, a captured Dorchester armored command vehicle named Max. This is just a modeling thing, so kind of irrelevant in our case. But I don't know that we really need to. Well, let's just do it because it's like what we like to do. So let's just jump over to the Panzer Company. Let's just throw these up on the screen real quick. You probably most people haven't really looked at this book. So this is the Panzer Company here, the Armored Company. This is real fun. Like these North Africa lists are great. They're so flavorful, like the units you're getting, what you can do with them, the options and everything. This Panzer Company here, you're taking primarily Panzers. Oh, no surprise. But you get some really great options. Basically, your minimums, you're going to be taking 2 lead tanks, Panzer 3s, Panzer 4s. You can upgrade accordingly to whatever you want. The Panzer 4F is basically a King Tiger on the battlefield, man. They're huge. Not the front armor, but their gun is, I mean, for mid-war, it's awesome. It's like an 88 basically. So Panzer platoons, you're getting 3 to 5 tanks. You can pick whatever you want there for the combat platoon. So model them up, enjoy it. Like you get some options here. I'm working on a bunch of North Africa tanks right now. And then optional, so you can take my personal favorite, these light Panzers, these Panzer 2Fs. Again, these are light tanks. These are reconnaissance. I just said they were light tanks, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't want to speak out of turn. They're not. Okay, so they are not light tanks. So that's actually where the Honey Stewards are going to do a little bit better. And the gun on the Panzer 2F is terrible, but they make great reconnaissance vehicles because you don't want to be shooting with your reconnaissance. You want it to be lifting gone to ground and everything. So that's a fun little addition there. You get the Africa Sphere Panzer platoon, the Tigers. Oh my God, the Tiger in mid-war. It's huge. It's unbelievable. Most people only got AT7 or 9. You're running around with a front armor 9, so that's intense. But they're expensive. I mean, everything in here is it's pretty well balanced. You're gonna want, if you've thrown in a Tiger, man, that's like a huge bulk of your force. What are we looking at for points there? Throw that up on the screen. So, one Tiger is 385 points. It's not bad. I got one over there. I got to paint it up, the Africa Corps. I mean, it's going to see some battles, right? So that's the Panzer Company. And then we come over, let's see here, the Afrika Schützen on page 26, pretty much the next page. This is my favorite. I can't wait to field this. I'm so excited. The Afrika Schützen Corps company, they're great. I mean, you get your combat platoons. The Afrika Schützen company or platoon has so many cool anti-tank options, vehicle options. I mean, it's fun. You're looking at MG teams. You're getting 6 MG teams at base, 190 points. I mean, it's going to be a great unit. Confident vet. Excited to get them out. And then, you got Rommel at the lead. You got the Desert Fox there to guide your troops, and that's a winning combo right there. So, I think it's pretty obvious the rating I'm going to give Rommel, and he is an A++. He is awesome. So A all the way for Rommel. All right, next up, we got Oberst Josef Wilhelm Rettemeier. So let's read this little blurb about him here. So as a Hauptmann, Rettemeier won the Knight's Cross commanding the 2nd Company, 15th Panzer Regiment in Africa. Later in 1944, he won the Oak Leaves as a major commanding the 5th Panzer Battalion of the 25th Panzer Grenadier Division on the Eastern Front. After the war, Oberst Rettemeier commanded the Panzer Grenadier Brigade in the new German Army. Okay, that's cool. had a whole career in the military. So Rettemeier, let's look at his characteristics here. So Rettemeier is a warrior and a company command team rated as confident vet. Rettemeier can join any Panzer company for plus 45 points. He becomes the company command team, retaining the previous commander's tank. So he has taken your leader's team over. So he's not an additional leader. So you're not getting that third bubble we'd all like, but 45 points swapping out for the commander. So let's see what he brings to the table here in special rules. First up, Schnell. Rettemeier's tank and any panzer platoon he commands may make a stormtrooper move on a roll at 2+. Hey, beneficial. That stormtrooper on a 2+ is always good. You're basically never going to fail it, which is awesome. Stormtrooper, I mean, it helps movement. Movement wins wars. So, all right, let's check the next one here. Panzer's March. So each turn, Rettemeier may reroll one die rolled to receive reserves for his company. This is pretty good. You're re-rolling that one die, so you're starting with one die. You get a re-roll on it. See if you get that 5+ for reserves. On as the battle goes, you're getting more and more. But one die each turn. Reserves are super important, so I think that's always a benefit, man. It could be key. And let's check his last ability here. So Ace Gunner. Reroll any failed to hit rolls when firing Rettemeier's tank. This does not apply if his tank fires an artillery bombardment. Hey, rerolling failed hits is pretty good. I think 45 points here overall. You're getting a lot of benefits. You're getting a couple extra tools in your toolkit. That extra reserves roll is excellent, and the combination stormtrooper rerolling failed hits. I think he's pretty good. I think he's gonna help your DAC army and everything perform. So Panzer Company, again, kind of digging into it. You get your whole medley of tanks that were available at that time. Now, I think obviously you're getting Rettemeier. You're going to throw him in one of the better tanks possible. You're going to upgrade him to the Panzer L or M. You're going to be putting them in a Panzer 3L or M or the Panzer 4. I mean, the Panzer 4 is it's so good. It's got a huge gun. I mean, I'll bring it up here. It's definitely it's got some good stuff. So you're talking front armor 6, which again, most things are rocking a 7 or a 9 AT at this time. Maybe even a 10. So you're bouncing half or more shots. And then you're looking at that AT-11. AT-11 is just gigantic in mid-war here. Going back to killing itself, it can kill itself. You know what I mean? And that's pretty powerful right there. So protected ammo and everything. So you got a lot of options there. Stick him in one of these tanks, and he's gonna mess up the enemy. I think that's a good play. So Rettemeier, he's gonna go ahead and get a B for me. I think he's baseline. You know what I mean? He's a good hero, solid. You're not gonna regret taking him, I think. So let's go ahead and give him a B. All right, next up, we got Oberstleutnant Walter Koch. All right, let's dive in. So, born in Bonn, Walter Koch was 28 when given the task of forming a parachute assault detachment. Koch's group was responsible for spearheading the assault into Belgium to capture 3 bridges and the fortress at Ebenemael. The operation was a success, and Koch was awarded the Knight's Cross. In early 1942, the newly promoted Oberstleutnant Koch returned to France to assume command of the 5th Fallschirmjäger Regiment. By November, the regiment was being airlanded in Tunis and scrambled to hold off the Allied invasion of Tunisia. In fighting near Dieppe, the Fallschirmjäger captured a number of British paratroopers These prisoners, many of whom were wounded, were put into custody of a Wehrmacht unit. When Koch learned that the Wehrmacht intended to execute the paratroopers in accordance with Hitler's regaining regaining Allied commanders, he returned and secured their safety. Oh, wow, pretty cool. He was wounded again at the beginning in 1943 and returned to Germany for treatment and recuperation. He died in Berlin as a result of the injuries sustained in a motor vehicle accident. Wow, he was an honorable soldier. Oh man, I dig that. Really cool guy here. All right, so let's jump into the characteristics here. So Koch is a warrior, higher command team, rated fearless veteran. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. He can command any Fallschirmjäger company for plus 50 points. Koch may pilot any glider in an airborne assault without affecting its carrying capacity. So airborne assaults are pretty cool. I got the Normandy book over there with all the glider rules and everything. So he gets into that a little bit. So, but yeah, 50 points, commanding a Fallschirmjäger company. So it doesn't say replaces the commander. So he's an addition to. So he is a third bubble. Huge on its own. I feel like that's worth 50 points a lot of the time right out the gate. So let's jump into his special rules here. So superb glider pilot. The intensive training he received hones his flying skills. So when making a landing run roll for Koch's glider, you may adjust the length of the landing run by 2 inches forward or back. If you roll a 1, you ignore the crash landing result, which is great. So when you're rolling to land these gliders, you roll a d6. On a 1, it crashes. Everybody inside has to make a save. I think it's a 5-up save too. It's tough. He ignores that. I mean, that's great. And then being able to move it. So when the plane comes in, if it hits rough terrain or impassable terrain, again, you can have your people inside get killed. And he's going to help avoid that by moving the glider back and forth. I mean, generally, you're picking a pretty safe landing area anyways. So, but this just helps that. So that's pretty cool. That's niche. That's niche of a niche because you're probably not going to be doing a lot of that, but it's there. Schnell. So Koch and any platoon that he is currently leading may make stormtrooper moves on a 2+. It's less good for infantry. I mean, he can get in there. He could join a tank unit if you got him sitting back a little bit or something. So not as powerful as a guy that's running a tank normally, but still good, still decent. Because I feel like stormtrooper for infantry, that you're assaulting in the assault step. You're not necessarily trying to move into a position. I mean, you try to get into a building and stuff. So there's cases for it, but just not as good, in my opinion. And then fight on. So Koch and any platoon he's currently leading always pass motivation tests on a roll of 2+. I mean, that's great. Fallschirmjäger are going to be awesome in fighting here. So actually, let's jump right over to the Fallschirmjäger. All right, let's do the North Africa one since that's kind of what we're focused on here. So the parachute rifle company here. Yeah, you get a lot of stuff to choose from. I like that you get extra reconnaissance. You're just getting a lot of fierce fighters in these Fallschirmjägers. So let's jump into the actual platoon now. All right, first up, these guys are fearless veteran, so you're getting a little extra there. These Fallschirmjäger guys are tough. Now, what's really cool about the Fallschirmjäger platoon? I'll have to show the full graphic for this one. You're getting each squad has 3 teams. So including the command team, you're getting 10 teams per platoon for 265. Hey, that's not bad. And with Koch leading the way with these guys too, they're gonna be tough. They're gonna dig in. They're not gonna go anywhere. They're gonna get unpinned immediately. They're passing tank terrors. They're doing it. They're getting in. They're winning it. So yeah, these guys this is a really cool platoon. I think because of who you're joining here and what he brings to the table, I think that helps Koch out a bunch. Yeah, I think you're going to want to take him. If you like Fallschirmjäger, if you like these big squads, and he's cheap too for that. Actually, like I said, third bubble. Yeah, you're taking him. You're using him. I'm going to give him an A. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't take this guy. If you're running Fallschirmjäger, you're bringing him. So do it. Yeah. Hey. All right, for our last German warrior, we got Major von der Heydte. So, von der Heydte volunteered for the Fallschirmtruppen after winning the Iron Cross First Class in the Battle of France in 1940. As a Hauptmann in Crete, he commanded the 1st Battalion of the Fallschirm Regiment in fighting for Prison Valley Galatas and Carnea, for which he was presented the Knight's Cross by Hitler. Promoted to major, he led his battalion in heavy fighting around Leningrad, where he was wounded late in 1941. The battalion was withdrawn from Russia at the end of the year, rebuilt and renamed Lair Demonstration Battalion before joining the Ramake Brigade in the Battle of El Alamein. Von der Heydte's war ended with the last German airborne assault during the Battle of the Bulge. He parachuted with one arm in a sling and injured the other one on landing. With failure of the German offensive, von der Heydte was captured by the U.S. Army. All right, pretty good story here. So, well, let's jump into the characteristics for our gentleman here, von der Heydte. So he is a warrior and higher command. There you go, that extra higher command, it looks like. Fearless veteran, of course, as is the rest of the Fallschirmjäger, really. So he can join the Fallschirmjäger company for 55 points. So he is 5 points more expensive than Koch. So let's see if it's worth it here, huh? All right, so his first ability, never surrender. Von der Heydte, in any platoon he is currently leading, always passes morale on a 2+. Well, so far he's got that right in common with Koch. And then rally once more. As the battle progressed, he sought out lightly armored troops, inspiring them to keep fighting. So this means one per turn, von der Heydte may attempt to reform a team in his force. If an infantry or gun team within 6 inches of von der Heydte is destroyed, roll a die. On a 5+, he rallies the survivors and the team continues to fight on unharmed. Otherwise, they are removed. So it's kind of like a 5+ invuln save for those 40Kers out there, or 30Kers, for your teams if they're shot at and killed. 5+, you're only getting about a 30% chance of getting that to work, 32%. He's got the same motivation test. Now, it's unlikely that you can add both Koch and Heydte into the same team. So I think you kind of got to pick one or the other here. If I had to pick the two, well, okay, so let's take gliders out of it, because Koch and Heydte, they're pretty similar here. We take gliders out of it because that's going to be pretty rare, if ever. So Koch has Schnell, right? That gives you a 2+ on Stormtrooper. And then Heydte has this 5+ save a team roll. And then they both have motivation tests. Yeah, I mean, 5 points. Yeah, it's for a chance to save a team every round. I mean, that's pretty good. So once per turn. I would be curious if that's player turn. Like, would you get to save it once in your turn, once in your opponent's turn? I think potentially that would be true. So, hey, maybe that's a good rule. Hey, give them a go. I'm going to go with the B-. I feel like Koch's a little bit better, so I'm gonna stick him with a B- here. But either way, that higher command team, it is great. Gives you that extra 8-inch bubble. So yeah, let's go with the B- on him. All right, now we're moving into the Italians, and we only have one hero with the Italians here. So we got Luigi Pascucci. Now let me tell you, the artist here, this is not very flattering, but I'll let you decide. So, Second Lieutenant Luigi Pascucci fought with the as a lieutenant in charge of a company in the 132nd Regiment of the famed Arietta Armored Division during the Second Battle of El Alamein. His company took part in bitter fighting against the British 22nd Armor Brigade around El Bir El Abd, just west of El Alamein on the 4th of November, 1942, allowing Rommel's army to retreat before it was completely overrun. That afternoon, Arietta was ordered to retreat to Fuca on the coast. Pascucci was sent to protect the open southern flank. The next morning, British heavy Grant and Sherman tanks and anti-tank guns of the British 8th Armor Brigade cut the road to Galal near Fuca, splitting the division in two. Knowing that he was cut off and the main body of the Italian force was still needed time to regroup, Pascucci bravely ignored heavy enemy fire and led the remaining 11 tanks of his company in a charge straight at the center of the British armored formation. The unexpected ferocity of the attack buckled the British line but could not break it. The weight of the British material proved too much for Italian courage. Pascucci was found after the battle lying in a burnt-out tank, his supreme sacrifice a demonstration of his fighting spirit. In recognition of his heroic actions, he was awarded the Gold Medal for Military Valor, Italy's highest award. What a soldier. Okay, so let's jump into his characteristics here. He is a warrior in a company command, fearless veteran. So he can join the Carey company for 35 points. That's already pretty cheap. And he takes over the commander's tank. So you're not getting an extra leader. You're just keeping your two you got, the 1IC, 2IC, and he becomes the 1IC. So let's look at his special abilities. What are we getting for this 35 points here? So the first ability is Iron Heart. Pascucci and any platoon currently being led by Pascucci always passes motivation tests on a 3+ instead of their normal roll. So basically, their saving is fearless for their motivation. That's good because that's not the standard rule. So that's already pretty okay. It's not the 2+ that you're getting with some of the Germans, but a 3+ is solid. Okay, next ability here. Aim for the tracks. Pascucci makes excellent use of his tank's cannon, aiming for the weak spot. When an enemy tank makes an armor save at a range of up to 16 inches and the save result is exactly 7, Pascucci may treat his 47 millimeter gun as having anti-tank rating of 8. Okay, I mean, it's decent. You're basically his AT of his gun is 1 higher, for all intents and purposes, within 16. Not awesome, but, it's a little niche. I mean, it's very precise. You got to remember that roll. But when it comes up, hey, huge, right? And lastly, and this is an interesting ability here. There's a lot to it, so let's dig in here. Never surrender. So if Pascucci fails a company morale check, so you're under strength on your platoons, you're rolling company morale. Now he's fearless, so you're rolling you got 3+ save on it, but if he fails that, it doesn't count having failed this turn, but automatically fails the company morale check next turn. You get 1 turn. This is it. It's go time if this happens. However, every platoon in the Italian force must take an immediate platoon morale check. If they pass the morale check, they fight on. Otherwise, they are immediately removed from the game, counting as destroyed. So it's a last-ditch attempt, just like his heroic push against that British unit. It's his last attempt to make a win. So you have 1 turn to kill as much as you can of your enemy to force them to do a company morale before you lose. That's a cool ability. I mean, that's such a neat, one-off ability. Is it going to come into play? Man, I go to a lot of company morale checks. This would come into play almost every game I play, I feel like. So That's cool. I mean, I dig it. You're probably gonna lose, considering Italian morale generally. You're probably gonna lose half of your remaining platoons. You're losing 6-1, 1-6. You're gonna be on the losing end of that if this doesn't work. But let's say you fail half of those units, but you get in, you kill what you need to do, force the enemy's company morale. I mean, it pushes it one more turn, one more heroic effort. So, you know what? I'm gonna give him an A just because I like the rules. They're fun rules. They're cool. They're a little niche, but I think for Italians, you're gonna want them in here. Oh, so let's dive in to this carry platoon. So this is kind of like the main tank. Here it is. This is the main tank company found on 92 here. Um, and Italians, man, I can't wait to see them in North Africa. I'm excited to play against them. I have some M1441s all painted up, ready to go for Firestorm units. As far as the tank itself goes, let's jump into that first here before I talk too much about this company here. But the M1441, fully tracked, 24-inch range, rate of fire 2, AT7, 4+ firepower. Now, cool thing is they have coax machine gun and twin MGs, twin hull MGs. So they do have a lot of machine guns. They're great against infantry. They were a cool tank, just years too late. This was a great early war into mid-war tank, but it really struggles against Shermans and anything bigger. You're fighting against, but very flavorful. I can't wait to use these Firestorm M14s that I got. Looking forward to getting them on the battlefield, frankly. But this is the unit you're getting. Man, like Italians. So their motivation and skill, they're considered elite. If we go over to their 8 million bayonets, that's where you get to figure out, what you're working with here. Now, elite troops are going to be about 50% of the time confident veteran. If you roll a 6, you're fearless veteran, and then you got some confident trained. So you're likely, I feel like, going to end up as confident veteran for the most part, which is good. I mean, that's actually really good. You're getting some good units here. The tanks are decent. I mean, I think if you like your Italians, man, you take Pascucci, you take your carry platoons, and you head in and you see what damage you can do. And now we're heading into the British. So first up here, we got Brigadier Peter Young. In 1939, Peter Young was commissioned into the Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire Regiment, in which went to France in 1940. He joined the 3rd Commando when it was founded and soon became a captain. His troops took part in raids in Norway during 1941. It was during the later raid that he won his first military cross. After a period on the staff of the Combined Operations Headquarters, he became second in command of the 3rd Commando under Colonel John Dunford Slater. In the Dieppe raids of August 19th, 1942, Major Young, now carrying a U.S. Garand rifle, found himself ashore with only 18 commandos. Despite this, he managed to take his force up the cliffs on a network of barbed wire, which, as he put it, an over-conscientious German officer had inadvertently provided for them to walk on. Young was the only commando officer to reach his objective and bring back all his men. At one point, when they were approaching enemy machine guns through a cornfield, he encouraged his soldiers by telling them not to worry about bullets. Standing corn made effective protection. He was awarded the Distinguished Service Order for his part in the raid. He served in some other battles here. France, ahead of the Northumbrian Division. Let's see. He was promoted. He led the 3rd Commando in D-Day landings in Normandy before taking over the brigade in Burma for the rest of the war. After the war, Brigadier Young was leading a figure in British wargaming, writing "Charge!" or How to Play War Games. One of the first books on wargaming. Outstanding. Okay, let's jump into the characteristics here. So Peter Young is a commando rifle team, a warrior, and a higher command. Oh, so important, that higher command team. Fearless veteran, of course, for commandos. So he carries the M1 Garand, pretty cool. And he can join any commando force for 65 points. So a little steep, perhaps. That's what I'm taking out of that for points initially, but he's got a lot of special abilities here. So let's dive into it. First things first, though, higher command. So you get in that third bubble. That's important. MC and double bar. So Young and any commando combat platoon he is currently leading pass all motivation tests on a roll of 2+ instead of the normal roll. Pretty standard for these higher command guys, following in the path of a lot of other ones we've done so far. Contrary, Young and any commando combat platoon he is currently leading may reroll any failed skill test across impassable terrain using the mind and heart rule. Its commando special ability allows them to pass across impassable terrain. I think niche. In our battles, especially in the desert, like when you're playing Gazala here, you'll have some. Maybe you'll have some cliffs or something. I don't know how much impassable terrain you're going to have, so that is niche. Although if you do have impassable terrain, you stick him with the commando team that's going to be going to do that. This ability is cool here. So cornfields stop bullets. Young and any commando combat platoon he is currently leading can be gone to ground when shooting as long as they are concealed and did not move. That's pretty cool. I like that ability. It's for infantry, so not like super huge as much, but that allows you to get those extra shots in when you need it. So that's pretty cool. And then last up here, unharmed. So when rolling to destroy Brigadier Young using the warrior casualties rule, the opposing player needs a 5+ to destroy him. I think that's cool. He is going to survive. Give him enough troops around him, and he's just going to continue to bounce around and live and be good to go. So 65 points, I think, is just a touch steep, but I think he's solid. I think the British bring a lot to the table. Yeah, let's dive in. Let's see his unit here. So the Commando company. So this is a cool company right here. I think he might be a case where his company is really the thing that brings his point level up. Like, I think you want to take his company, man, these commandos, fearless veteran. You're getting, so they come in these two sections here. So each one of them operates separately. So, not for like how many you have in ambush or reserve. So if it says, hey, you can put one unit in ambush, you could put both of these in ambush. That's the way I'm reading that. For example, this means that you treat the entire commando company as a single platoon when calculating the number of platoons held in ambush or reserve. Wow. Okay. And these guys are rifle MG, so they're not all MG or assault rifle or SMGs or whatever, but pretty good. And you're getting 6 per section. So you got 12 regular teams, 2 leaders. You're looking at 14 infantry teams you can just have in ambush somewhere. That's huge. And 390 points for one of these, not bad. Now, you do have to take, you're required to take 3 of these. So maybe you take 1 big blob and then 2 smaller ones at 195 apiece. So you're going in for 800 points in infantry. That's a big investment, but you are covering the board in infantry, objectives, everything. Oh, so cool. So yeah, these guys are a really neat unit. They have special rules of their own, like that heart and mind ability that we talked about. They got mission tactics like the Germans have, which is really cool. So You're getting a lot of extra stuff with them. They hit in assaults on a 2+. Yeah, this is cool. This is a cool unit, and he is the natural commander for it. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with an A. I mean, I think he's solid. I think he's maybe a little bit too expensive, but he's bringing a lot to the table. So we're gonna go A on Mr. Peter Young. All right, next up for the British, we got Captain Charles Upham. All right, so Captain Charles Upham, Charlie, to those who knew him, is unique in the annals of the British Empire. I think we might be reading this whole thing so far here. He is the only combat soldier to have ever won 2 Victoria Crosses, the highest award for gallantry in the British Army. A sheep musterer in the high country of New Zealand's Southern Alps before the war, Charlie was the man of contrast. He had rough edges, swearing with the best, but also a diploma in management and was a qualified valuer. When the war came, he was one of the first to enlist, determined to halt the Nazi menace as quickly as possible so that he could return and settle on his own farm. By the time New Zealand Division went into battle, he'd been promoted to second lieutenant despite frequent clashes with the instructors over tactics. On his way back from the course, he picked up his Batman, Leggy Legros, an expert on the mysteries of horse racing and shady deals, but loyal and rough and ready to as his master. Upham won his first VC in Crete in May of 1941. There, over a period of weeks, despite sickness and wounds, he led his men again and again into attack. He was always at the front, leading the way, tackling machine gun nests single-handedly or with his sergeant, Kirk, armed with as many hand grenades as he could find, looking out for his men and shepherding them to safety. Charles Upham hated being in the limelight. He had to be ordered to wear the ribbon of this VC on his uniform and hated people bringing attention to it. He was very worried that he might be sent back to New Zealand for publicity tours and fought hard to stay with his men as he had against the Germans. Upham won the second VC twice over as a captain commanding C Company 20th Battalion. In Minquarquam, outside Mersa Matruh, he was at the forefront of the midnight charge that saved the New Zealand Division, and then again up the ridge in Alamein Line, and he led his company into the teeth of the German defenses, fighting on the shattered elbow. Fighting with a shattered elbow until he and his men were finally surrounded and captured. Upham, unable to walk from his leg wound. Upham's capture wasn't the end, though. He was bold and persistent escaper and eventually ended up in Colditz, the camp reserved for the most difficult prisoners. Even when liberated, he still wanted to fight, joining the American unit for a few days until ordered back to England. Cool guy. This is a nice picture of him here and everything. So, all right, well, let's jump into the characteristics, shall we? So, Upham is an infantry team, a warrior, and a company command rated fearless veteran. This part is so cool. So, Upham is armed with an Enfield number 2 revolver and Millsbomb hand grenades. He's got a range of 4 inches, rate of fire 2, whether he moves or not. Oh, man. Anti-tank 2 and firepower 4 up. That's pretty sweet. So, he is really cool. So, I feel like there's some new New Zealand bias here, Battlefront. This guy's cool. He makes me think that I should run a New Zealand Rifle Company here. So, he may join the New Zealand Rifle Company for 50 points. He becomes the company command team, replacing the existing ones. You're not getting an extra bubble with this guy. So I think 50 points is maybe a little steep already. And he may have a V8, Ford V8, which counts as a Jeep, which I think you're demanded to buy for 5 points. I think if you don't do this, I think you're crazy. I think this is a fun modeling opportunity, if nothing else. So, need to do that. So there you go. So 55 points base, no questions. Okay. All right, let's jump into the special rules here, see what you're getting for them. So Come on into him. So he and any rifle platoon he is currently leading always pass motivation tests on the 2+. Very natural. I mean, obviously that's going to be one of the rules there. I'll get the bugger. Upham will launch a charge from 6 inches away from the enemy and move 6 inches when and charging into contact or counterattacking. The rest of his platoon still move 4 inches, often meaning they don't get to fight until the platoon counterattacks. This is this rule straight out of well, I mean, I guess the rule was plucked from this probably, but we already talked about this with Wingruber. It's a cool ability. It's very, I think in this guy's case, it's almost even a little bit more narrative. And he gets that, he's got the revolvers. I mean, he's out there, it's so cool. So, yeah, I think that is a cool special ability. And then keep your bloody head down. Each turn, one infantry team within 6 inches of Upham may roll a die if destroyed. On a roll of 5+, Upham alerts them to danger and they duck out of the way and survive unharmed. Okay, now he's kind of upsetting me here, right? Like, this is some serious New Zealand bias, okay? So we got that ability on Van der Heydte before, and that's pretty much his only ability. Now, granted, Van der Heydte's a higher command team, so you're getting that extra, but he's got that too. I think this guy is so flavorful. I think the British heroes and warriors are just, they're so cool. I think they're some of the coolest in the book, frankly. So, let's dive into this New Zealand Rifle Company here. So this is the base rifle company for Africa. For the British, this is kind of like your meat and potatoes company. I think the key is here you have to take 3 rifle platoons. They're all in black there, so they're mandatory. So, future self jumping in. The North Africa book was updated. It was updated digitally, and as far as I can tell, it wasn't updated in print. So, this is one of the differences here specifically. The Africa Rifle Company for the British only requires 2 now. But you get a medley of options otherwise. Now, it looks like some of these, you can only 8th Armored only comes with the New Zealand. So some of the tank units are specific to New Zealand, which is cool. I think New Zealand's it looks like it's getting the most options here to play with and have fun with. These guys are all, I think they're all confident veterans, if I'm not mistaken, for the New Zealand confident veteran. So you're getting that. And New Zealand, actually, they get some other special rules here. So New Zealand platoons use German mission tactics rule, which is so cool. That is really cool. And then they have the Maori as well with the Haka ability. So yeah, they got some cool stuff going on for sure. So okay, let's dive into this actual rifle platoon here. So again, meat and potatoes. You get a lot of options here. So normally, you can take the Australians, the Indians, the South Africans, the 8th Army. Really cool abilities. You get some nice options in between as well. Rifle MG teams, 6 teams plus the commander there, getting 7 teams base. And in New Zealand's case, you're getting it for 155 points. I mean, that's great. That's the right amount. You have to take 3 of them, so a little bit of investment. You're talking basically, 450 points base, 465, I guess. And the leaders are cheap. You're gonna take them. You're gonna take up them. You're gonna get into it. I think this is a cool company with some really neat options and abilities. You're getting these awesome tank options. You got anti-air options. You got, you got your aircraft support. You got mortars. You got carrier patrols. You got everything. I mean, if you're playing North Africa with the British, this is your standby. This is your go-to company. So, leading into it, I mean, Upham again. I mean, they're just great. He's another great leader from the British. So, All right. And for our last British warrior, we got Major General George Philip Bradley Pip Roberts. Roberts was a British Army's youngest major general at 37 and perhaps their best armored commander. Roberts joined through the 3rd Royal Tanks as a subaltern at the age of 19, spending 13 years in Egypt apart from a stint instructing at a tank driving and maintenance school. When the war broke out in 1939, he was promoted to Deputy Assistant Quartermaster General to the Desert Rats. As this position, he was responsible for ensuring that they had enough supplies to fight on. By late 1940, Roberts was the brigade major of the 4th Armored Brigade, winning the Military Cross against the Italians in Operation Compass. A year later, he was the Assistant Quartermaster General to the 30th Corps for the Operation Crusader against Rommel. He then asked his Corps commander for a regiment, and to his delight, he was given his old regiment, the 3rd Royal Tanks. His crowning achievement was leading the 11th Armor Division to victory in Europe. That seems like a pretty cool guy. I was hoping for a little bit more of an after. But anyways, so jumping into characteristics here. So Pip Roberts is a warrior and a higher command team rated as confident trained. So just confident trained. It's interesting. So he can join any heavy armored squadron or armored squadron for plus 135. This includes the cost of a Grant tank as his mount. You can replace the Grant tank with a Sherman 2 or a Sherman 3 for plus 20 points. So just to get base numbers, so a Grant tank is about 90 points. 2 of them for 185. So what, 92 and a half? Okay, so you're paying about 45 points for this guy. Now, he's an extra higher command. That's already worth it. And I think he's a little bit less because he's trained, not veteran, and then, confident, not fearless. So it's a good deal already. I mean, I think, you're getting that extra tank, you're getting that extra bubble, which is great. Now, all of the British armored units, they're all confident trained. So that's a little bit of a hindrance, but they're cool. We'll jump into them. So. All right, professional. So any heavy armored platoon, light platoon, or armored platoon in his force may reroll failed platoon morale checks. This rule continues to apply even if Roberts is destroyed. That's a strong ability. And it doesn't have to be within range of him. It doesn't have to be within line of sight. It doesn't have to be within a 6-inch bubble. Nothing. You're just getting it for free already. I mean, I think he's higher command team, 45 points, confident trained. I mean, that's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. I mean, that's fantastic. All right. We're good enough with just that. But we're going to jump into another one here. So well in hand. Pip Roberts may reroll failed company motivation checks. Awesome. I mean, yeah, Pip is if you're running tanks, you're adding him. I mean, I think he's a must take. I don't see why not. This is fantastic. So, well, let's jump into some of these units here. So first up, heavy armored squadron. These are the Grant tanks. These are good. These are solid. You can upgrade them to the Sherman 2s, Sherman 3s. Let me jump over to them in the book just to take a look at kind of the difference here. Here we go. All right. Let's see. So the Grant tank, it's getting that big 75. That little 37 is more than capable of handling a good chunk of armor you're going to come across in Africa, right? That 7 AT. I mean, most armors, fives, fours, threes for front armor. So you're gonna pop those. Um, that 75 is a huge gun. I mean, and it has semi-indirect fire. Semi-indirect fire is scary. It's awesome. These British tanks. I'm gonna be struggling against the British tanks, I think. So semi-indirect fire, weapons capable of semi-indirect fire that didn't move in the movement step may re-roll failed to hit rolls when shooting their main guns at platoons teams more than 16 inches away. Oh man, I am gonna struggle hard against that. Like now, granted, German tanks going to be veteran. I mean, maybe concealed, maybe not. It's desert. I don't know. Long range, so fives. It'll be fives to hit my boys, but he'll be re-rolling misses, and that's and this thing. This thing is going to pop my tanks. I mean, for sure. 18-9. Front armor +1 because it'd be over 16 inches, but even still, that's going to be rough. The Sherman 2 or 3 tank, front armor 6. That's strong, real strong. And then it's got that 75 AT10 with semi-indirect fire. Wow. Okay, so we know the Grant and the Sherman tanks, they are strong. Yeah, and looking into it, I mean, you're paying for the tanks. They're expensive. You got to take 2 platoons of them naturally. But yeah, you're going to be running. I feel like Chris is going to be running, I don't know, 58 Grant tanks when he plays me. So yeah, that's the heavy armored platoon. I think the light armored platoon is right on the next page. Although I don't think, what was it? He can't join the light one. But the light armored tanks in his force still benefit from him, I think. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can't have him join the light armored squadron, but these platoons are going to pop in here, and he still helps them re-roll their. Should have just kept the page open to him, huh? He helps them re-roll their platoon morale. So he's helping them anyways. But these are the Crusader and Honey Stewarts, which are great tanks in desert. I mean, they're not like the most heavily armed or anything, but they they'll get the job done. They're going to be definitely helpful for you. So and then let's jump over to this armored squadron. So this is straight up Sherman 3s, no options there. It's similar to the other tank company we were just looking at. A little different options as far as platoons you can take here as far as support. It's pretty similar. I take that back. Pretty similar. So yeah, he's got. I mean, if you're taking tanks and as the British, you're taking Pip. You're taking him. He's another A. I mean, he's fantastic. These British warriors have been such a joy to review. And look at the British, they're looking strong. Yeah, all around. So perfect. Yeah, play the Brits. All right, now we're moving over to the Americans. Hurrah! All right, so first up, Major General Ernest N. Harmon. So known to his troops as Old Gravel Voice, Major General Ernest N. Harmon gave a reputation as a dashing and aggressive leader. Frequently seen leading from the front, Harmon inspired confidence with his presence. During World War, he led his cavalry troop to the Meuse Argonne battles. Between the wars, he competed as a pentathlete in the Paris Olympics before rising to command a light tank battalion as a lieutenant colonel. Given command of the 2nd Armored Division in July 1942 as a temporary major general, Harmon led them during Operation Torch landings in November. As part of Patton's Western Tank Force, he landed near Casablanca, defeating a French column before racing to secure the city. Ordered to the front by Eisenhower at the height of the Kasserine Pass battle in February of 1943. Harmon took command of the battle, setting off in his Jeep. He toured frontline, visiting commanders and assessing the situation firsthand. Within days, he turned a rout into a successful defense. Let's see. With the fall of Rome, Harmon was sent stateside to become a corps commander, but requested a return to combat in Europe. From September 1944, he led the 2nd Armored Division in combat, including Battle of the Bulge. By the time the war ended, he was commanding the 12th Corps. Oh, this dude's sweet. Okay, cool. All right, so jumping into characteristics here. So, Harmon is a warrior, higher command transport team. Oh, that's interesting. Very rare. Fearless trained. Okay. So higher command, you're getting that 3rd bubble. He is mounted in a Jeep. Good modeling opportunity. He can join any tank or armored rifle company for 40 points. I had initially not realized the power of this. Higher command. Really cool extra bubble. Now he's trained, so it's a 6-inch bubble, but that's okay. He's mounted in a Jeep, so he's getting everywhere. And the higher command transport teams, the warrior transport teams, they're saved. So normally if you have like a warrior tank or a warrior infantry, 4 up, they're destroyed. Less than 4, they can jump to another unit and just take the place. Transport teams, if your opponent doesn't roll a 4 or higher, just continue. They're safe. So he's got basically a 50% invuln save, which is awesome. And he's only 40 points. I didn't catch this the first time I looked at it. 40 points for a higher command team? That's a steal. Okay, well, let's jump into his special rules here, see what extra we're getting, because I think we're already getting enough for 40 points, frankly. Get moving. So each turn, 1 platoon that is not pinned down is within 6 inches. A Harmon may attempt to move again at the end of the movement step after all movement. Roll a die, 4+. The platoon may move a further 4 inches, and they can still shoot an assault. It's cool. It's good. I mean, it's just a little perk. You're gonna have to remember that. I think that's a rule that's going to get away from people a lot of the times, like that stormtrooper. Nobody ever remembers to do their stormtrooper rules. But yeah, you got that. It's extra. You can get that tank unit into a line of fire, or get them, up over a hedgerow or whatever it is, right? So that's cool. And his other special ability, which I think is more of his key ability, there's just fitting to the narrative here. So old gravel voice. So at the start of the shooting step, Harmon may attempt to rally 1 platoon within 6 inches. If the platoon is pinned down, roll a motivation check. If successful, the platoon rallies and is no longer pinned down. Any bailed out vehicles in the platoon take an immediate motivation test, and if successful, remount immediately. Wow. Just reading it again, that's a bigger ability than I thought. Wow. Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, you get those bailed out vehicles. I think with the Americans too, you're going to be running, you're going to be running big stacks of vehicles, hopefully. Man, any bailed out vehicles in that platoon. So every shooting step you can do that. At the start too, you get them back in their tanks, then they're shooting. Wow, what a cool ability, man. Harmon, awesome. Okay, yeah, this guy is super cool. All right, so jumping into his unit so he can be here. So tank and armored rifle are kind of the core of what you're expecting to bring as the Americans, I think. So tank company, I think this is just a straight up, I mean, it's kind of, I don't say basic, but everything you would expect with the Americans. I mean, okay, in this case too, which is interesting, and just looking at it, so the tank platoon itself, you can choose from Stewart's, you can choose from Lee's, or you can choose from Sherman's. So you really get a cool lineup of tanks to choose from. Obviously, the command team has to be the same as at least one platoon in the company. But wow, you're getting a lot of options here. Yeah, you want all Stewarts, all these light tanks, go for it. You want the Lee or M3 Lee with its dual guns. Looking at you, Chris. And then Shermans. I mean, Shermans are okay. Mid-war Shermans, awesome. I mean, super awesome, fantastic tank. Now, this is when I feel like Flames of War really shines. In late war, it's like this constant. I mean, it's going to be a constant push too, because somebody's going to bring some mid-war monsters or whatever here. But like, this is a nice basis for the game. Guns are decent. Armor is a little lower. You're playing more of I think just an even game. And the Sherman, though, I mean, they're big. They're really cool tanks. Yeah, actually, just to jump over to the actual characteristics of a Sherman here, so we don't have to cover it in the rest of them. Six front armor. I mean, that is about as good as you get in mid-war, which is great. 6+ armor. Most people are using 7, 9s, 10s for AT. So you're bouncing probably half the shots that hit you or more, which is really good. You get coax machine gun, Hall machine guns, and a 50 caliber AA. I mean, you're getting all the tools as far as that's concerned. And then that 75 millimeter gun, 2 shots, 10 AT, and it comes with stabilizers. So you can move and shoot, not hitting as much, but you get those 2 shots, which is stellar. So and just I didn't think I mentioned it, but tank companies, Americans in general, confident trained. So you're trained, you're getting hit a little easier, but your stuff's cheaper because of it. So that's cool. Tank company looking real strong. I mean, I think it's just a fun American list. You're going to lead with Harmon, I think. So armored rifle company, kind of the same thing. Actually, it's not the same thing at all. It's completely different, but very cool. Yeah, you're getting a whole bunch here. You're getting you got 2 rifle squads. You're going to take those kind of as your base. You got to take two platoons, but you just got the 2 rifle squads as your base, and you just have a lot of options here. That comes with a 37 millimeter gun out the gate. Oh, this is very reminiscent of the Africa Shoots and Corps. Okay, I get it. Real cheap too. So you're getting that light machine gun squad. You're getting 60 millimeter more squad and 2 rifle squads, 175 points. That's pretty awesome. Wow, there's just a lot here. You're getting a lot of bodies. This is a big, scary unit. So you're getting 5 rifle teams. You're getting LMGs. You're getting mortars with it. And you're getting a 37 millimeter. Man, there's a lot there. That's a lot on that page. Wow. That is a strong unit. And you can have it supported with tanks and artillery and anti-air and yeah, everything you could really want. This is strong, and with his abilities, you're getting back in those tanks. You're unpinning this rifle platoon. You're doing a lot. So Harmon's getting an A. I mean, it's pretty clear. I overlooked that initially when I had reviewed this. America's got a great leader in Harmon. All right, next up for the Americans, we have literally a warrior here. So Staff Sergeant Cole Reb Jackson. So Sergeant Cole Jackson Sr. fought with Patton's U.S. Tank Corps in the First World War. Inspired by tales of the Great Crusade, Cole Jackson Jr. joined the Army on his 18th birthday. Jackson was a corporal in the tanks when the war began and took part in the Louisiana maneuvers of 1940, being promoted to sergeant when the 1st Armored Division, Old Ironsides, was formed. When he learned that he was scheduled to transfer the newly formed 6th Armored Division, while Old Ironsides left for Europe, he went AWOL absent without leave. On his return, he was busted to private, but shipped out with old Ironsides. Jackson's tank landed in North Africa on the first day of Operation Torch. By Christmas, he was a sergeant again and had 3 tank shot from under him and had been wounded twice. At Kasserine Pass, Jackson made staff sergeant after leading his platoon in a counterattack that stopped the German thrust. Jackson went on to fight every major actions that old Ironsides fought, surviving the destruction of 4 more tanks. Wild. Yeah, a cool backstory here. Definitely a flavorful warrior. All right, so let's jump into the rules here. So Jackson is a warrior, obviously. He is rated as confident trained. Okay, and Jackson may join a tank platoon, taking over any tank in the platoon except the platoon command tank for plus 25 points. Well, let's see what we're getting for 25 points here. He's not a higher command team. He's lacking a few things so far, but let's jump in. So I can't say this without singing, right? Like a rock. Okay. Like a rock. There we go. If Jackson's tank is required to take a motivation test and fails, re-roll the test. If Jackson's platoon is required to take a motivation test and fails, Jackson can re-roll test for his tank. If the re-roll passes, treat Jackson's tank as if passing the test, but the rest of the platoon is failing it. This can lead to Jackson fighting alone after the rest of the platoon failed a platoon morale check. In this case, the platoon now consists of just Jackson's tank. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's kind of a one-off. Maybe a little. I don't want to say a gotcha because it's. I mean, it's not. It'll be thematic. It could win you a game, I guess, if you got your tanks on an objective and the enemy's trying to shoot him off, and he, oh yeah, your team's running away, and then Jackson's holding it down on his own. That would be awesome. Send stories of that happening. If so, maybe we'll catch it in the campaign. I don't know. It's cool. Is it 25 points cool? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, individually, the U.S. tanks, they're great. And we just talked about them. So I guess keeping one on the table is better than not. I don't know. Let's check the next rule here. So go fix it. If the platoon command team is destroyed, treat Jackson as the platoon command team. So I'm just looking at his other special rule to see if, because the other special rule doesn't then say, oh, if he's command, you can re-roll or anything like that. He's not higher command, so you're not getting the re-roll. But it allows his platoon, where if you get that leader sniped, to immediately be in command again. It's kind of like a quick German tactics, so to speak. So you're paying 25 points for German tactics on your mission tactics on your platoon of tanks there. I think he's flavorful. I don't see anything here that's like demanding you take him. Unless I'm missing something, comments below. We already covered the tank company, but just to be in earnest, I'll throw up the tank platoon thing again. So I mean, you get your options here. It's nice. I mean, you could put them in Shermans or Lees and have some fun with them. He's extra. I mean, it's cool. I mean, I don't know that there's much more to say about Mr. Reb Jackson here, but it's an option, maybe a modeling option. You got one tank that just you paint up extra cool. Or whatever that is. So yeah, take a look at him. I mean, maybe he finds a niche in your army. I'm going to give him a C. I would pass on him. I think the majority of the time, there's other places to spend the points. Maybe these are some niche things, I would say. So yeah, we're gonna stick to C with Cole Reb Jackson here. All right, next up for the Americans, we got Colonel William Bill O'Darby. So Captain William Orlando Darby had been an artillery officer for 8 years when appointment as an aide de camp to General Heydte led to a promotion to lieutenant colonel in charge of forming the 1st Ranger Battalion. El Darbo, as he became known, handpicked his officers and men before submitting them to the Commando department in the Scotland for rigorous training. Soon after, they boarded ships for Oran and Algiers for their first assault landing. This success was followed by more when they had moved to southern Tunisia to raid Sened and take part in the Battle of El Gatour. Their achievements earned the Rangers a position in the 1st Assault Wave in Operation Husky. In preparation, Darby's Rangers, as they were known, were quickly expanded to the 3-battalion Ranger Force before landing in Licata and Gala. Ranger Force then took part in Operation Avalanche, where they took part in the vital pass that held against all comers. Once again, Darby's love of being right up front was noted, with one officer recalling approaching a ranger on the beach and asking, "Do you know where I can find Colonel Darby?" The ranger grinned and replied back, "You'll never find him this far back." Cool. All right, so Colonel El Darbo. Let's call him El Darbo from now on. So El Darbo is an infantry team, a warrior and higher command team rated as fearless trained, and can join any ranger company for 30 points. 30 points, it's so cheap. All right, starting off on a good foot there, El Darbo. Okay. He's armed with an M1 Garand. Nothing special there. So, okay. All right, let's jump into these special rules. I think we're already getting a steal again. 30 points for a higher command team? Oh, yeah. Okay, so first rule, keep moving. Each turn, Darby and one Ranger platoon that is not pinned and is within 6 inches of Darby may attempt to move again at the end of the movement step after all movement. Roll a die on a 4+, they can move an extra 4 inches. Hey, awesome. Get them into combat quicker, get them up, aggressive moves. Oh, yeah. Okay, so far so good. Red leg. Darby, El Darbo, does not suffer the usual +1 penalty to hit for being a command team rather than an observer when ranging in for artillery. All mortars in Ranger platoons and chemical mortar platoons ranged in by Darby count as being veteran when rolling to hit teams under the template. That's cool. Well, so, okay. Our house rules, then you would have them range in as veteran and then not suffer the +1 to hit. So, opposites, but it's the same. So you still get the same benefits. Okay. Wow. Pretty cool. All right, well, let's jump over to the Ranger company because maybe that's terrible, and then you just would never take this guy because you'd never take a Royal, the Ranger battalion. All right, so let's take a look here. So initially, I'm seeing three combat company or platoons that you need to take. Oh, these are straight up companies. So I'm seeing that the base book, the one I'm looking at, is 3 Ranger companies. It might be 2 in the digital. We'll take a look. Either way, let's roll with it. So, okay. So initially, even if it is 3 for sure, this is still fine because you can take them 1 platoon at a time, which is 6 dudes, which is great. Well, 7 with the command team. If you're taking the big platoons, I mean, now you're investing a ton of points, but you're getting so many dudes on the table. So that has a benefit. These guys are fearless trained. And then this company is sweet. A lot of options. It's got the full panoply of options that you can expect. It's got a lot of special abilities, tools. So they're all mountaineers. They can at the double. They can move at the double through difficult going, using Truscott Trot through difficult. Oh, that's good. That's good. You can move them real fast. And a Ranger battalion. Okay, so I shall never fail my comrades. A Ranger battalion ignores all support platoons when determining whether it needs to take a company morale check for being below half strength. Support platoons never count as being destroyed or still on the table for purposes of the company morale check. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's fantastic. So, okay, so let's jump in the combat company. As you know, we talked about a little bit of them before, but you can pick one or two sections, which is cool. They both count as one when determining ambush and reserves. So that's pretty huge. Yeah, them Rangers are great, and El Darbo is gonna be leading them, I think. Yeah. Is there anything else of note here? Yeah, you just get a lot of options with these Ranger platoons. You can take mortars here. You can upgrade them to the leader to an SMG. They're all rifle MG teams, so solid. Yeah, you're getting a lot of infantry on the table. Fearless Train. I don't know if I mentioned that yet, but yeah, that's a cool battalion. So El Darbo, he's getting an A all the way. Yeah, that's a strong looking unit in combination. Great warrior there. Okay, we've made it. We're at the end. The last hero. So Sergeant Charles Commando Kelly. Chuck Kelly was the third of 9 brothers growing up in the rough north side Irish tenements of Pittsburgh. Yeah! Okay, to enlist in the Army. After training, he was assigned to L Company, 143rd Infantry Regiment in the T-Patchers, the Texan 36th Infantry Division. After guard duty in Algiers, the T-Patchers led the way ashore on 9th of September 1943 at Salerno on an Italian mainland. 4 days later, Kelly went out on a reconnaissance of Hill 315 with 3 other soldiers, only to be surrounded and cut off. I brought my bar up. Nah, he's not going to talk like that. He's going to talk like a Pittsburgher, right? I brought my bar up and pulled the switch. There were 3 men working the Jerry machine gun, and as my bullets socked into them, they hit the ground twitching. I had fired only 10 rounds. The 60 or 70 Germans coming over the knoll were only 50 feet away. I wasn't cool, calm, and collected then. I pointed my bar at them as if it were an extension of my arm, and the bullets jetted out of it. I wasn't even conscious of aiming, but it didn't seem like I could miss. By the time the Germans retreated, Kelly had accounted for 40 of them. Wow. The next day, Kelly virtually single-handedly defended the mayor's house in nearby Altaville. In doing so, he fired every weapon the infantry uses. You don't have to know anything about them, just keep on pushing until you know they'll shoot. His feat earned him the nickname Commando Kelly from the Army newspaper Stars and Stripes. Over the next 6 months, he was promoted to technical sergeant, earning his country's highest award, the Medal of Honor, and 9 other medals to become the country's most decorated soldier before returning to the United States as a hero. Wow. All right, that was a cool story to end on, I think, here. Okay, let's jump into the characteristics of our boy Kelly here. So Kelly is an infantry team and a warrior. He can replace a rifle team in any rifle platoon for 20 points. So he's cheap. We're just kind of getting him in there, a little hero to sprinkle in, right? All right, so let's see what we're getting for our 20 points here. So one-man army. Kelly uses his bar and every other weapon that comes to hand, from rifles to bazookas and even 37 millimeter guns. His characteristics are range 16, rate of fire 3, anti-tank 2, and firepower 5 up. That is interesting. When shooting at armored vehicles, if Kelly scores more than 1 hit, he may discard a hit to increase the anti-tank rating to another 5, or to a hit to 5, or 2 hits to increase it to 7. Every hit caused by Kelly counts as 2 hits for the purposes of pinning down an enemy. Okay, so he's getting 3 shots. So you're shooting, I'm doing them separately, obviously. You're shooting at a tank. You're just trying to increase that AT. It's niche. You may not remember it. As per other warriors, though, killer modeling opportunity. I think he's cool. I think, yeah, you're gonna be placing him on the little base just because he's a warrior, but I think you have some fun with this guy, right? 3D print a cool dude, standing up, just like this picture here. How awesome, right? Yeah, I mean, he can almost single-handedly pin an infantry platoon, which is super cool. So I mean, that's something right there. That's fun. And then no braver man. Kelly ignores all the effects of being pinned down. If Kelly's platoon fails a platoon morale check, roll a die. On a 4+, Kelly fights on alone. Although the rest of the platoon are destroyed, in this case, the platoon consists of just Kelly. When the platoon is destroyed, Kelly has no command team, so he cannot move, even in assaults, and although he can counterattack in one in range, Kelly passes all motivation tests on a 2+ if the rest of the platoon is destroyed. So I think he's making sole survivor on a 2+2, but you're going to make that. I mean, most of the time, yeah, he's going to stand alone, which is really cool. Yeah, I mean, that's fun. You get him on an objective. He's going to help hold it down, potentially against tanks too. Yeah, that is, I mean, it's neat. He's a neat hero. 20 points isn't bad. Yeah, he's kind of niche. I think if you find his story interesting and you want to throw him on a base and have some fun with it and make it, like I said, a modeling opportunity, I think you make that base with just him on it. There's no other dudes on that base, and you give him some weapons on there, a bazooka laying there, or something. I think that's fun. So I'm gonna give Kelly here a B. I mean, he's from Pittsburgh too. That's pretty cool. But really, his abilities are kind of niche. They're just fun, very flavorful. So that's where I put him, B. Well, that wraps up the Warrior review for North Africa. So that was a lot there. I know. Follow timestamps. Check it out. There's a whole heap of information and content there. So hopefully you like listening to my voice on that one, right? But yeah, thanks again for joining me. Appreciate all the interactions and everything. Like, subscribe, comment, share the video, whatever. You got some buddies interested in World War II in general. There's some cool heroes here for them to listen to. So, yeah, thank you again. Appreciate it. And remember, steel yourselves and keep your standards high.